Imagine walking into your home after a long day and finding your 11-year-old daughter's most treasured possession gone. Not misplaced. Stolen. By your own parents. Then you learn they sold her antique cello, the one passed down from her great-grandmother, for $87,000 in cold cash. And every single cent went toward a sparkling new swimming pool for your sister's kids. Not for Sophia. Not for her music dreams or competitions she'd been winning since she was 8. For her cousins. Sophia used to practice for hours, eyes shining, fingers flying over those strings like they were made for her. That cello wasn't just an instrument. It was her future, her link to a legacy. My parents, Robert and Margaret, always said family comes first. Yet they quietly removed it from our music room while I was at work, handed it to a buyer, and watched excavators tear up the backyard the very next week. They begged me not to tell Grandma Evelyn.
She'll never know, they said.
It's just an old instrument. But Grandma did find out. And when she did, she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply smiled that calm, knowing smile and said 4 little words that turned their faces ghost white. The cello was. What she revealed next shattered their smug little world in seconds. You're not going to believe how this ends. Sophia was only 7 the day Grandma Evelyn placed that beautiful antique cello in her small hands and whispered, "This is yours forever, my little virtuoso." From that moment, music became her whole world. She practiced every single day after school, even when her fingers ached. By 9, she was winning local youth competitions. Teachers pulled me aside and said the same thing. This girl is special. That instrument was made for her. The cello wasn't some random old violin from a garage sale. It was an 18th century piece, handcrafted in Italy, appraised quietly at over $90,000. Grandma had kept the paperwork secret for years, then slipped a codicil into her while naming Sophia the sole heir. No one else was supposed to touch it. But my parents, Robert and Margaret, never treated Sophia the same way they treated my sister Jessica's 2 boys. Jessica was always the golden child. Her kids got new bikes every Christmas, expensive summer camps, everything. Sophia? She got hand-me-down clothes and comments like, "She's so quiet, isn't she?" They smiled to our faces, but behind closed doors they resented that dusty old thing, taking up space in our house. One afternoon, Sophia ran to me in tears. "Mom, the cello's gone. The music room is empty." Her voice cracked. Did I do something wrong? My heart sank. I already knew who'd done it. I stormed over to their place that evening. Margaret opened the door, looking guilty, before I even spoke. Robert sat on the couch with a beer, avoiding my eyes. I demanded answers. They didn't even try to lie for long. "We already sold it," Robert said flatly. "The check cleared yesterday." My stomach dropped like a stone. But what they didn't know, what they could never have guessed, was that Grandma Evelyn was already in her car, driving straight to their house. Picture this. The backyard that used to be Sophia's quiet place to read sheet music is now a construction zone. Excavators roaring. Concrete trucks rumbling in. Jessica's 2 boys running around in hard hats like it's Christmas morning all over again. And my parents? Standing there grinning ear to ear, arms crossed, proud as if they'd invented parenting. I confronted them right there in the dirt. "You sold her cello for this?" I asked, voice shaking. Margaret shrugged like it was nothing. "It was just sitting there, Emily, collecting dust. We thought the money could do more good for the family." Robert nodded. "Jessica's boys deserve some joy. They've been asking for a pool forever."
Joy. Right.
I pulled up the bank app on my phone. There it was, an $87,000 deposit dated the exact day after Grandma Evelyn's last visit. They hadn't even waited a week. They snuck into our house while I was at the office, carried the case out like thieves, handed it to some collector who paid cash, no questions asked. Then they funneled every dollar straight into concrete and chlorine. Sophia hadn't touched another instrument since it disappeared. She sat in her room staring at the empty music stand, whispering, "If Grandma's cello isn't safe, nothing is." I held her while she cried silent tears that broke me worse than any scream could. Have you ever felt your own parents erase your child's future to buy favor with someone else's kids? I was shaking, ready to scream every ugly word I'd ever swallowed. That's when the doorbell rang. Grandma Evelyn stepped inside, cane tapping slowly on the tile. She looked around at the chaos, the blueprints on the table, the proud parents, the pool party already being planned. Then she met their eyes and smiled. That small, dangerous smile. The cello was, she began. Everyone in that living room stopped breathing the second Grandma Evelyn finished her sentence. The cello was never fully yours to sell. Robert's beer bottle froze halfway to his mouth. Margaret's hand flew to her throat like she'd been slapped. Jessica, who'd just walked in with pool floaties under her arm, looked between them all, confused. Grandma didn't raise her voice. She never had to. She just reached into her oversized purse, the one she's carried since the 80s, and pulled out a slim folder. Sophia was 7 when I placed that instrument in her hands, she said calmly. I also placed it in an ironclad trust. Legal ownership transferred to her the moment she turned 7. Irrevocable. Until she's 21, no one else has the right to touch it, move it, or, most certainly, sell it. Robert choked out a laugh that sounded more like a cough. Come on, Mom. It's family property. We were just stealing. Grandma finished for him. You committed fraud. The so-called buyer? An old friend of mine. A lawyer who specializes in estate law. He purchased it on my instructions to create a paper trail. Every dollar you deposited is traceable. Every signature you forged on the transfer documents is on record. Margaret's face crumpled. We didn't forge anything. Grandma tilted her head. You signed as trustee. You were never appointed trustee. I have the original will, the codicil, the trust documents. And I have the audio from the sale call. Your voices are very clear. Sophia, who'd been hiding behind me, peeked out. Her eyes were huge. For the first time in weeks, a tiny spark flickered there. Robert's smug tan drained to gray. Margaret started babbling excuses about helping the boys and fairness. Grandma just watched them squirm. Then she pulled one more sheet from the folder and slid it across the coffee table. Have you ever seen karma arrive with receipts? Their world was about to collapse completely. Grandma Evelyn let that single sheet of paper sit on the coffee table like a loaded gun. It was a draft civil lawsuit.
Theft. Fraud.
Breach of fiduciary duty. Conversion of trust property. Punitive damages requested. The kind of filing that doesn't just ask for money back, it asks for blood in court. Robert stared at it, mouth open, no sound coming out. Margaret reached for it with trembling fingers, then jerked her hand back like it burned. Mom, you wouldn't, she whispered. I already did, Grandma said quietly. The complaint is filed. The pool? Proceeds of fraud. The bank has been notified to freeze the remaining funds. Your contractor received a lovely cease and desist this morning. That hole in the ground isn't getting filled anytime soon. Jessica dropped the floaties. You're suing your own parents? Over a stupid cello? Grandma turned to her. Over a child's future. Over breaking a promise I made to my granddaughter when she was 7. Yes. Sophia stepped forward then. Small voice, but steady. Can I have it back? Grandma smiled, real this time, soft. It was never gone, sweetheart. My friend held it safely the whole time. It's in my attic, waiting for you. Robert and Margaret started begging.
Tears.
Promises. We'll pay it back. We'll drain the pool ourselves. Just don't do this. Too late. The damage was done. Jessica stormed out, furious at everyone. I told my parents I was done. Contact only through lawyers from now on for Sophia's sake. The cello came home the next day. Sophia hugged it like an old friend. She started playing again that night. The notes sounded different now. Stronger. Remember when they said the cello was just collecting dust? It turned out Grandma always kept the best receipts. Their faces went pale in seconds because they finally realized some legacies can't be sold, and some grandmothers never lose. So there it was, the full circle of betrayal turned into something unbreakable. My parents lost the money they thought was theirs. The pool company hauled away equipment the next week. That big blue hole in the backyard stayed empty, a concrete reminder of what greed looks like when it's caught red-handed. Jessica stopped speaking to them for months. Robert and Margaret tried calling, texting, showing up at my door with flowers and apologies that rang hollow. I told them the same thing every time. Sophia's the only reason I'm not pressing criminal charges. Don't push it. Sophia? She got her cello back. She plays it every single day now, and the music feels different. Fiercer, more alive. Like she's claiming something they tried to take away. Grandma Evelyn comes over twice a week to listen. She sits in the corner chair, eyes closed, smiling that same quiet smile. The one that says she always knew how this would end. They stole her dream for a pool. Grandma turned their greed into their greatest regret. Family isn't blood. It's who protects your light when others try to snuff it out. Never underestimate a grandmother's love or the paperwork she keeps. If you've ever been betrayed by the people who are supposed to love you most, drop a heart in the comments and tell me your story. Like if you believe karma always finds a way. Subscribe for more stories where the underdog wins, and turn on notifications so you never miss one.
Thanks for sticking with me to the end.
Some legacies can't be sold, and some lessons hit harder than any lawsuit.